A lot of you may be wondering, who am I and why am I here on stage speaking with you today? You may have looked me up and you saw that I don't really have too much of a social media presence. In fact, I just opened up my Instagram like a couple of weeks ago. I've been living a very private life. However, I have been living an extraordinary life, my own personal dream life. I get to experience financial freedom. I get to travel around the world, experience incredible things, work on incredible projects with amazing people, but that's not what I'm here to speak to you about today. What I'm here to speak to you about is something I've discovered along the way. And I promise that if you stick with me through the end, if you pay attention, if you stay engaged, you too can apply this to every single area of your life. And you too can have your dream finances, your dream lifestyle, your dream relationships, because why not you? Why not you? Okay, so I'm gonna preface my talk by saying two things. Number one is I don't want this to be a monologue. Let's make this a dialogue. So if I say something that resonates with you, if I say something that stirs your soul, if I say something that speaks true to you, just nod your head or say yes. Is that good? Nod your head, say yes. Amazing. Number two is that you're going to hear a lot of words like universe, energy, frequency, vibration, but none of this is religious by any means. So if you want to swap it out with source or God or infinite intelligence, please feel free to do so. This is not a religious conversation. In fact, this is actually a physics conversation. Okay? So what I'm here to speak to you about is called the art of receiving. And I've used the art of receiving in every single area of my life. In fact, I've used the art of receiving to receive my way all the way to be up here on stage with you right now. So picture this. You're at a party, right? You're at a party and someone comes up to you and they're like, wow, I love that outfit. You look amazing. And how do we respond? Oh, this old thing, this old hand-me-down, I've had it forever. Oh, it's just a good hair day. It's just a good hair day. Or maybe your boss comes up to you at work and praises you and says, hey, that project you did last week, amazing. You did a fantastic job. And how do we respond? Even though you worked really hard, you're like, oh, boss, I'm just doing my job. But inside you're like, I worked really hard. Or maybe another example could be you're really thirsty and you go to your friend's house and your friend offers you some beverage. Even though you really want it, you're like, no, I'm good. Why do you think we do that? Do you think that maybe we want to show how virtuous we are? We're virtue signaling. We don't need anything. We're so humble, we need nothing. What I'm here to tell you that is it's actually your self-worth. You see, wealthy and abundant people have a very high capacity to receive because their self-worth is very high. They're able to receive very well because they're always giving their advice, their time, their resources, they're giving their products, their services, so they believe they deserve it. So they're easily able to receive, okay? When your self-worth is low, your capacity to receive is also low. You understand? The exchange between giving and receiving, it's a transfer of energy, okay? It's a spiral that needs to be complete. What happens is that when we deny the giver from giving us praise, appreciation, and gifts, the spiral is incomplete. And two people walk away from that engagement feeling unfulfilled. But when you receive it graciously, even though if it's a little uncomfortable, if you receive it graciously and you say, thank you, I know I look good today. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, I appreciate that. What happens is that you actually give the giver something because it feels good to give. And you receive something because you receive the praise and appreciation. And the spiral is complete, the transfer of energy is complete, and two people walk away from that feeling fulfilled. But what happens in life when something really difficult happens? You get fired, you get divorced, you get dumped, your business partner screws you, something really difficult happens. It's really hard to receive in that moment. It's very difficult to receive in that moment. You see, my life wasn't always like this. I remember just 7 short years ago, waking up in my cold basement apartment in Canada, in Toronto. And waking up in my basement apartment with a deep feeling of dread every single day. And I remember waking up and driving 1 hour through traffic and putting on the radio first thing in the morning, every single morning, to drown out my own internal dialogue of, I hate myself, I hate my life. I hate myself, I hate my life. And I remember pulling up to my office. I used to work for a truck parts manufacturing company, and nobody is passionate about truck parts manufacturing unless you're a psychopath. Um, and this particular day, I remember it was like the day was in slow motion for some reason. I remember pulling up to the entrance of my office, and it was one of those metal turnstile doors with a cage around it, something you would literally see for cattle. And I remember this day, I was walking through, as I do every single morning, through the turnstile doors, scanning my hand on the fingerprint scanner because your boss wouldn't pay you for a second, you're too late. And I remember walking through the corridors that morning, and I had this deep visceral awareness of my surroundings. I remember I looked at the walls, they were all completely gray. I looked at the wall dividers, they were gray. I sat down on my desk, and even my desk was gray. I sat down on my desk that morning, and I looked to my right. There was a poster on the wall, I remember, and there was a kitten hanging off of a thread. And the poster said, "Just hang in there." I looked around at my colleagues. I was the youngest person at my office at the time. I looked around at my colleagues. They were what we call lifers. They've been there for 30 years, 40 years. And I observed them that day. Every day they were counting down on their calendar, counting down on the calendar to the day they can retire, counting down on the calendar to the day they can live their life, counting down on the day in the calendar till they can take a vacation. But what was worse is that when they take a vacation, they would just take a staycation. They would just stay at home because they didn't have the energy to go out and do something exciting. Or even worse, some people wouldn't even take a vacation because they wanted to show their boss, "Hey, boss, I'm so virtuous, I never need time for myself. I don't even take vacations." 30, 40 years. And I knew at that moment, if I stay here, this is the rest of my life. I will be here until I die. I knew I needed out. I knew I needed to get out of this situation. But sure enough, some time went on until one day, HR sent out a massive email to the entire office announcing that massive layoffs are coming. Right away, as you heard, I've been fired from 10 or 15 jobs in my life at this point. Immediately, all the fear and worry and anxiety started coming up. Oh my God, it's gonna happen again. And the fear and worry and anxiety was in the air in the office because everybody knew it was coming. Sure enough, I got the call. Me and 10 other of my colleagues, I remember this day very clearly. Me and 10 other of my colleagues, we were pulled down to the HR's office, and the HR director and her assistant sat across from us and so coldly, so bluntly said, "You guys are all terminated. Please gather your belongings and leave the premises immediately." It's like we were criminals at that moment. And the lady beside me, she was one of those lifers I was talking about. She was been there for 30 years, 40 years. She's given her heart and soul to this company. This is her one income source. Okay, she lived in the city for this job. All her friends were her colleagues. Her job title was her identity. And she started crying and wailing immediately because at that moment, her entire identity was stripped away from her in that 1 second. It was like a death for her, a death of her old self. And that day I left, and I so badly wanted to fall into my victimhood, so badly wanted to fall into my unworthiness, my not enoughness. But for some reason, a voice inside of me said, "This is a gift. This right here is a gift." And because I received it as a gift, what happened was that I went all in on it. I went all in on this seemingly bad situation. And what happened is that I'm proud to say that 7 years later, I get to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with who I want. And this is what we call transmuting energy. You see, there's a law in physics coined by the famous Albert Einstein. And the law is that energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. Okay? Energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. How many times have you had a situation in life where you had something really bad to you? You get dumped, you have a failure, your business goes under, but 5 or 10 years down the road, you're like a grand symphony. You're like, I'm grateful that thing happened. I totally understand why that thing happened, right? So imagine we can shorten that time span of pain and suffering from 5 or 10 years and turn that negative energy in your life and turn it into a gift. That's what we call transmuting energy. But it's up to you to be able to receive it as a gift. Because in every single situation in life, there's a hidden seed of a gift. It's up to you to receive it. You just have to look for it. Does anybody use Threads, or am I the only person? Probably the only person. Yeah, some people. Okay, amazing. The reason I shared that story about that lady who had her identity stripped away from her is I propose this. I propose that you don't attach yourself to a person, a job title, a place, or a thing. Instead, attach yourself to a purpose, a mission, a grand vision only. This is how you stay aligned to your highest self while maintaining inner peace and power. You see, why say you stay attached to a life vision? Because your brain has something in it called a reticular activating system. If I told you right now, focus on the stage and find everything that is red. Focus on everything that is red. It's very easy to pull out everything that is red. You see, your brain works in images. If you give yourself a vision, an image for your dream life, you give your brain a GPS location. And what your brain works as, it works like a missile-guided system, okay? It's going to find the easiest and shortest path to get you towards your life vision, okay? And when I say don't say attached, because as you have circumstances, events, opportunities, all types of things come into your life, you can stay aligned by saying, this is not aligned for me, that's aligned for me. Because you know what your life vision is. This is not aligned for me, that's aligned for me. And this is when life becomes effortless, because you always make the decisions aligned to your highest self. And this is how you avoid making mistakes. This is how you avoid getting into relationships you shouldn't be, businesses you shouldn't be, and this becomes more and more effortless. And what you'll find is that the better you get at doing this, it's like magic. All the right people, the right places, the right opportunities start showing up for you. I remember when I didn't have a life vision. I had an e-commerce business. It was a hair extensions business. We were the first ones to take it online. And that's fine and all, but this thing was taking everything out of me. I mean, it was costing me my health. It was costing my relationship. I was doing the marketing, the finance, the accounting, the IT, the copy, everything, all the hats that you have to wear when you start a business. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. But I wasn't happy with this. I was miserable. I didn't leave my job to do this. This is costing me. I was taking Adderall. I was taking Ritalin just so I can keep working. It wasn't until I got my life vision in check that I realized that time is actually what's important to me. I wanted time to do the things I love with the people I love. So what did that compel me to do? It compelled me to put in the resources, the systems to automate my business. So I only had to work 4 hours a week. Only 4 hours a week. And that's the power of having a life vision. And after that, I got into much more passive income streams, and you become completely free. But guys, we have to self-excavate. We have to get deeper, because ultimately our beliefs is the vehicle. Our beliefs is the filtering system that's going to take you towards your life vision. You see, your beliefs about life is exactly what's going to be reflected back to you all the time, okay? And abundance needs to be redefined, guys. Abundance is no longer just money. Abundance is not this or that. Abundance is this and that and that and that and that and that and that, because abundance has no limits, okay? And all these categories in life are interrelated. So what I would want you guys to do is examine your beliefs for every single category of your life. Let's talk about money, for example. My old money beliefs were, I have to give up my time for money. Money is hard to make. Money is for evil people or greedy people. But who gave me these beliefs? Was it my teachers? Was it my parents? Was it my cultural background? Was it social media? But these beliefs are not going to take me towards my life vision. So I changed my beliefs. My beliefs is that time and money are not linked. And when that became my belief, I broke the link between time and money. Okay? Money is an excellent servant, but a horrible master. So I became the master of my money. It's an excellent tool. It serves me well. Money comes to me easily and frequently from many different sources. So now I have over 10 sources of income. So examine your beliefs. I don't have time for all the examples, but examine the beliefs that will take you towards your life vision. And for your life vision, I want you to answer 3 questions. Where are you? Who are you with? And what are you doing? Get extremely clear on that. Where are you? Who are you with? And what are you doing? Get as clear as possible for your life vision. This brings me to my last point, to become truly a master in the art of receiving. And guys, that's gratitude. Because gratitude is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it grows, and you attract more reasons to be grateful. If you can't be grateful for a cup of coffee, you won't be grateful on the yacht. Look, I know gratitude is a big buzzword these days, right? Everyone says, be grateful, be grateful. And we're all grateful sometimes, but what I'm saying to you is that gratitude is a discipline. If you don't have a notebook, I highly recommend you get a notebook, because gratitude must be worked out. Look, everyone's grateful for their kids, everyone's grateful for their family. These are the easy things to be grateful for. But can you be grateful for the man that smiled at you on the way in today? Can you be grateful for the cup of coffee you had this morning? Can you be grateful for the eyes that you have to see me on stage right now? Can you be grateful for the unlimited, abundant oxygen that's in this room, filling your lungs at every moment of every day? You see, what happens is that when you're grateful for all the miracles in your life, all the time, you are in a state of receivership. And energetically, the universe reads that as, oh, you like that? Let me give you more. You like that? Let me give you more. You like that? Let me give you more. Okay? But there is a great cost to this. And the cost, guys, is your old life, your old habits, your old beliefs, your old thoughts, maybe even old friends, maybe even old family. And that's a cost you have to pay for your new life of abundance, of bliss, of freedom, of wealth, of health, of joy. Is that a cost you're willing to pay? Is that a cost you're willing to pay? Woo! And with that, guys, I salute all of you. Thank you so much for listening to today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.